What's up everyone, Adam from Cape Crawlers coming at you with another quick video on the Axial AX24. In this video, the build has begun and I'm going to give you my first 5 upgrades to the Axial AX24 plus a couple bonus upgrades. We didn't waste any time with this rig. We dove right in with both feet building this thing out. It's come a long ways. It's been hitting the gym hard the last 24 hours and it's made some serious gains. I got to emphasize the Z on gains because these aren't normal gains. I'm telling you, this thing has made a huge leap in performance. You're going to be blown away when you see this thing in action. I'm telling you, it's awesome. So I'm going to run through the mods that I did to this thing. Many of these I had on hand, which was one of the best things about this rig is that SCX24 parts can just bolt right onto it. So a lot of the upgrades I'm going to show you were just things that I had lying around that I'd taken off of other builds, just put on the shelf and were just kind of waiting for something to use them on. So it was great to kind of pull everything together and almost Franken build this thing. So even though these were upgrades, a lot of these were upgrades that I had lying around, I'm going to give you the full cost of these if you were to buy them new. I'll put the links in the description down below if you want to get any of these yourself. So we'll look at each mod, then we'll also compare it against the stock rig to see how it transformed in terms of both appearance and from a weight perspective. And then we'll get it on the course so you guys can see this thing in action. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump in and check out mod number 1. First thing I did, I actually picked these up right when I bought the rig because I knew exactly what I wanted to do and I was ready to go. As soon as I did my review, I put these right on. So the first thing I did was the carbon fiber frame rails and the brass skid plate. Now, why did I choose these as my first? Because I knew that it was going to be top heavy, so I wanted to shift the weight down as much as I could. So I wanted to use the carbon fiber frame rails to get rid of the metal ones that were there from the factory, and then grab that brass skid plate to pull the weight down low. So that was the first thing I did. Now these are pretty inexpensive upgrades direct from Axial. Thankfully my hobby shop had everything right in stock, so I just grabbed them when I was there. Shout out Centerline Hobbies in Hyannis, love those guys. So the skid plate was 20 bucks and the carbon fiber frame rails are $16, I believe. So a pair of cheap performance upgrades right here. Bolted right on, look great, very happy. I think the skid plate's around 19 grams if I remember correctly. And I can't recall the weight savings from the carbon fiber frame rails. But this was my first upgrade that I did and started the goal of shifting all the weight down low. As you'll see, we continue that theme throughout. Mod number 2. Next thing we did, continuing the theme of adding weight down low, we did some heavy steering knuckles, front and back, and we also did some diff covers, front and back. So beginning with the front knuckles here. Now I like to do steering knuckles because they're non-rotational mass and they're right above the wheels, like pretty much as centered over the wheels as you can get without actually adding weight in your wheels, which again I try to avoid the rotational mass. So we went with the Treel heavy knuckles in the front. Now these are 18 grams a piece. These are the same ones that I have on the Bronco SCX24 and I love them. Great quality, great fit and finish, tons of weight right where you want it. In the back I opted to go with the less heavy versions from Treel. These are 10 grams a piece. Still pretty heavy, and again Treel, great quality from these parts. Bolted right up, no problems. For the diff covers, so in the rear I went with this Endura brass diff cover. I can't recall the weight on this. I think it's 10 or 12 grams maybe. I bought these as a pair. I really only needed one because I went with a different one in the front. So I got 2 of these, just put one of them on. This was 16 bucks for the pair. In the front, I went with this Hobby Park heavy front diff cover. 15 gram brass diff cover here. Came with the skid plate for 16 bucks. Wasn't sure if I was going to use a skid plate or not, but I figured, yeah, I might as well. Well, I already have it. So I put this on here again. Great fit, great products, and added a ton of weight down low, right where I wanted it. This thing is beefy right now. But this is a big one. Again, add that weight down low, get this thing planted so you can get rid of that tippiness. Tip number 3, get rid of those cheap servos. So I did an Emax upgrade front and back. Now, these kits are pretty cool, because it does 3 things all in once. You get the servo, you get the mount, and you get the linkage. And as a bonus, you even get the aluminum horn that comes with it, although this doesn't fit that great. So I'm probably going to replace the horn. But in any case, the kits are $30. So it comes with your Emax analog servo, which is a great budget servo, certainly a big step up from the stock one. The steering linkage, I'm a big proponent of swapping out the steering linkage as fast as you can because the stock units are just so flimsy. So you really want to tighten up the steering, especially on a rig where it's just a showcase part of the build on this thing. So we tightened up the steering on both ends with these Emax steering kits. So $60 for the pair, and this is a tremendous upgrade. Much, much, much stronger than stock. Highly, highly recommend this. This could have arguably been number 1 or 2, but in any case, it's right up there. Number 4, moving right along. So I did some hex extensions to add some weight to this thing. Now it's a little difficult to see in here, but I ended up using some of my neck speed hex extensions and weighted ones in the front. Now they're about 6 grams a piece, and they add about 6 millimeters, I believe. I'd have to double check. But they add a fair amount of width and a decent amount of weight. I was pretty happy with the weight that we added with the knuckles and the diff cover, so I wasn't really seeking a whole bunch of weight, but I had the neck speed X's there, so I figured I might as well just add them. So I put those in the front. In the back, I just did some generic brass hex extensions. I think these were $9 for all 4, and I had these in my toolbox just kind of laying around. Same with the neck speed. They were leftovers from the neck speed chassis build that we did. If I was going to buy these brand new, the full set of 4 neck speed brass hex extensions would have been $26, and the 4 generic hex extensions would have been $9. But this is great. I really wanted to do some sort of width to this thing, again, to increase the stability. Because just being so tippy, I really wanted to widen that track and give this thing a greater footprint so it could be more planted, and just seeking all around better performance and really just stick a little better in a lot of those lines, both vertical and horizontal. Odd number 5. Last but certainly not least is this gorgeous set of wheels and tires from Little Guy Racing Parts. I went with the Torque beadlocks and the Swamp King tires. Now the beadlocks, again, I had these on the shelf. I've been kind of swapping these in and out, just looking for a home for these wheels, and I think I've found the right build. They just fit so well on this. The gunmetal works so good with the coloring on this thing. I really love these wheels. Now I can't remember the exact weight on these. They're fairly heavy. They're under 30 grams, but they've got a good amount of weight to them. They're vented wheels, so you get that nice squish. Now I did swap out the foams, and I put Crawler Innovation Lil Nova soft foams in here too, so I can get that conformity to obstacles and get that nice squish in these big meaty tires. Love this tire and wheel combo on here. You might be wondering why I put tires and wheels towards the end of this list. It's because these stock tires, I like the stock tires and wheels. You know, they look great, they're big, the tires grip pretty well, but I feel like they still need to be replaced because it's having a tire this tall with no insert and on a vented wheel, you get a lot of lateral flex there. And these are still stiff enough to where I felt like I wanted a little more of a softer compound. But not disappointed with the stock tire and wheel setup whatsoever. So these are really nice, but I was just really looking for something great, not something good. And that's why we went with the Swamp Kings and the Torque beadlocks. Now, Swamp King tires are $20. Beadlock wheels are $40 for this setup. And Crawler Innovation foams are $5, I believe. Might even be $4. Now let's see how this thing compares to the stock rig. So it's gained a lot of width. Not a lot. Significant amount of width. The Swamp King tires aren't a whole lot bigger than the stock tires are. They are wider for sure, but height-wise they're very comparable. So it didn't gain a lot of height, which is great. I actually think it's sagging a little bit more because I put a bigger motor in here, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I did gain a lot of width. The biggest difference is in the weight. This thing is so heavy compared to the stock rig. So let's weigh these things. I want to find out how much we gained here. So we got our stock rig here. 233 grams for the stock rig. It does have a battery in it, so this thing is fully loaded. Wow. 460 grams. So we've essentially doubled our weight with the upgrades that we put on here. No wonder it feels heavy. Big girl's been hitting the gym hard. We made some serious gains. So those were my first 5 mods for this rig, but I got a couple bonus mods for you. So why don't we check out the bonus mods that I did, and then we'll hit the course. So let's take a look. A couple of bonus upgrades. So I'll show you what else I did. With all that extra weight, I think it's really important to upgrade your motor. So I threw in the Endura Pro 50 high torque brushed motor. This is the 50 size motor, replacing the 30 size motor that came in this from the factory. It's a tight squeeze. The wires are sitting on the linkage mount right in the back here, and it's a very, very tight fit. But it fits nonetheless. I had to do no modifications. It bolts right in. With the Endura, you do have to change the motor plate, but it comes with the motor. So if you want to put a 50 size motor in here, you absolutely can with no modifications whatsoever. To change it out, you drop the skid plate out from the bottom and change it out that way. Super, super simple. Went in really easy. Another bonus upgrade, what I did since I was in the diff, putting this front cover on, I overdrove the front. So I put in 23% Endura overdrive gears in the front. So those are just a couple bonus mods there, although I do recommend the motor. If you're going to add all this weight, you're going to want to add some more power because you're going to need it. That stock 88 turn 30 size is just not going to be super happy with this added weight. Do recommend doing the motor. I would almost recommend doing the motor when you do the servos. Those are kind of 2 electrical components, core electrical components that I would recommend doing right away. But let's get this thing together. Let's throw it on the course. I want you guys to see this thing in action because it's going to blow your head off. So let's hit the course and check it out. Right, modified AX24, here we go. The servos are much faster, much stronger. Look at the stability already on this thing. It's basically standing up on the wheel over there. Oh, hugely improved climbing. And coming into the hot tub over here, this is what gave me fits last time. Way better. I can just climb out, no problem. Don't fall over on the side hill. Let's come over and try the escalator now. So much better. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. Hell's Gate here. Now, this was completely impossible last time. We couldn't even get past this section in stock form. Look at that. It's gonna do it. It's gonna do it. Holy cow. 2 for 2 on Moab. The chute should be easy. We did this last time. So impressed with this thing. No problem. It is conquered Mini Moab. So fun to watch. I'm just having a blast here. I'm not saying much because I'm just so engrossed in just watching it do its thing. So good. So the AX24 came back looking for redemption, and boy did she get it, huh? What a difference. Holy moly. On the course, this thing's an animal now. I can't believe how well it climbs and how stable and everything it is. It's just nuts. The first line I did after I put all these upgrades on was Hell's Gate, and the thing scaled right up it. First try, no problem whatsoever. Could not believe it. What a difference this made. Incredible. We knew this chassis had potential. We just had to shift the weight around the right way, put the right supporting upgrades on it. It didn't take a whole lot. Just do basic bolt-ons like we would do to a normal SCX24. Maybe try a little bit harder to bring that weight down with the carbon fiber chassis and all of that. But in any case, just your basic bolt-ons, servo upgrade, totally transforms this rig. This thing is a monster now. And I'm totally in love with it at this point. All these upgrades do come at a cost though. I was tallying it up as we went through and seeing it all on paper here now, it would have been about $300 to buy all of these upgrades brand new. Now that's a big investment for a rig that we just spent $160 on. So if I was to do this brand new, I would do a couple of things. If I wasn't ready to sink $300 into it, I would do them sequentially. Maybe shift things around a little bit depending on how the servos were behaving and whatnot, but I would do it incrementally in sequence like I laid out in the 5 modifications. There are also certainly less expensive options out there for most of these parts, so you could get it done for half the cost, I'm pretty confident. And maybe I'll do a budget build with my son's rig. I don't know. What do you think? Should we do a budget build on the green one and see the difference? Maybe I'll do that. That'd be fun. But in any case, those were my top 5 mods, plus a couple bonus mods, and I think we really transformed this thing and brought it to where we really knew it could be. This thing is so much fun now and so capable. I love it. It's great. But let me know your thoughts down below, what you think of the modified AX24. Are you seeing it in a different light now like I am? As always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so, and I'll see you in the next video.